Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. I'm Chris. I'm joined once again by my brothers, Adam.
Hello.
And Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room to talk more gaming, and it's a big one because last week we had the 2023 Game Awards. So we're going to be talking about the awards themselves, the show, but also all the big announcements that come with that. It's kind of has become our winter games showcase that everyone looks forward to. Lots of announcements to talk about, but we won't get to talk about everything, right? So we'll only talk about what for us maybe was the highlights. Like, I'll call out a couple of things. We'll talk about them. But if we missed anything, if we snub any of your highlights, let us know in the comments. Get in touch. Let us know what game we didn't talk about and why you're so hyped for it. Maybe we missed the hype train on that particular one or why we should be excited for it. Do let us know. And we're also going to be talking about the GTA 6 trailer because that was also revealed last week. Not at the Game Awards, because Rockstar don't need no one else's show to showcase their game. Although it would have been lovely had that been the finale of the Game Awards, I think. But needless to say, here we are. We will have all the different discussion points time-stamped in the description, whether you're watching this YouTube or whether you're listening to this on audio platforms. So if there's a particular part of this conversation that you're more interested in, please feel free to jump to that particular timestamp and listen to that part of the discussion. But if you listen to the whole thing, great, and we'd love to hear your take too. So if you watch this YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this discussion, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twixter at The Brothers Take again to give your take on the Game Awards 2023. But without further ado, let's talk gaming. I heard our music come in, so I realized I had to wrap up the intro. So I had to cut it off early because, you know, the music was cueing me to shut up, which seemed to happen quite a lot this year. I suppose that was in relation to Christopher Judge, right?
Well, that's how they started it, didn't they? Christopher Judge comes up. Well, that's not how they obviously had Sydney Goodman do her section at the start, and then when they went into the official Game Awards and they had Christopher Judge come out, yeah, they very much took the piss out of that, which was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but then I did think that they went a little bit like, it's like, okay, you can give them a little bit of time to talk, like you're cutting them off pretty quickly, like, you know, and it's not like there's that many people getting up to speak. I mean, the people who are revealing the nominees are getting more time to talk than the people who are accepting the award. It was like I get it, but slow down a little bit, like, you know, you can let. But I think Jeff Keighley did actually respond to that. He put out a tweet afterwards saying, I told the guys to calm down on the intro music. He said it won't happen next year. And so there was a bit of miscommunication in terms of, obviously, yes, you don't want anyone going on as long as Christopher Judge did last year.
Which was apparently longer than the Call of Duty campaign.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of situation. Because obviously, that was a response to the criticism last year of, like,
correct, yeah.
Jesus, this is going on forever. So I appreciate that they're, like, making necessary changes. I think this is the most streamlined of the Game Awards yet.
It was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I thought that this is when I was watching it, I was like, because obviously his dream is that this will be the Oscars for video games. This is the first time I actually felt like this is that level in terms of the presentation, even everyone's dress code. You know, everyone got the fucking dress code.
yeah. Or unless you wanted to dress up as a knight, which I was looking at that guy all night, and I
hey,
was
look,
going,
it's a suit, isn't it?
Hey, you're looking at him all night. Hey.
And do you know what? On that note, congratulations to Larian Studios, who won Game of the Year with Baldur's Gate 3. No surprise, but well deserved, well done. And when you think about it, like, if you go back to the start of this year with everything that was, like, coming out, like, in a year where we had a Resident Evil, a Final Fantasy, a Dead Space, a Legend of Zelda, a Super Mario, a Star Wars, a Hogwarts Legacy, like massive franchises, massive IPs, Spider-Man, like huge games. And for Larian Studios, who were, you know, kind of known but not huge, come out with Baldur's Gate 3 and win Game of the Year above all those other massive Game of the Year contenders, congratulations. Unreal. I think that's really awesome. And I now their name is going to, like, every time Larian Studios comes up on screen, I guarantee people are going to sit up. That's what's going to happen.
They got to be careful now because it might be the next CD Projekt Red.
Right? Well,
True.
that happens, right? That happens. But I think CD Projekt Red are back in the good graces, it seems.
Yep.
There's nothing but praise for them lately. And they were nominated as well at the Game Awards. Was there any of the awards that surprised anyone or anything from the awards side that you guys wanted to talk about?
I don't personally agree with Tears of the Kingdom winning Best Action Adventure personally, but like,
what do you think should have won that one? Yeah,
I would have given it to Resident Evil.
Okay,
I think that is just when I think of action adventure, I just to me that is it. Like, Zelda is in terms of the, I think there's so much to Zelda on a arse around kind of open world kind of experience that I would never really, I never consider it like an action. There's action in it, but I just don't consider it an action game, like tight on the action. Right. There are ways in which you can defeat your enemies in very clever ways, but I just think it's more of I think that's more of an intellectual game in terms of, like, it's more of a puzzle game than it is an action game. And I think on the level of action, like the rush that you get from an action game, I just don't think it's there. But Resident Evil has that in spades.
that game won more heavily on the adventure side then, so we think.
Yeah.
Of that combination, I mean, of action adventure.
It's a weird combination, I find out, because you have best action and then best action adventure.
Yeah.
Rather than just best adventure.
I suppose when you say best adventure, like, I think what people would maybe think of is like what brought me on the best adventure, and then you're dipping into storytelling or narrative, and I see why you're doing it, but
yeah, for some people, best narrative or best experience is in the world that they explored, as opposed to, that's why, like, Elden Ring was so popular last year. It was like the lore is within the world and not within the dialogue of the character speaking, really.
Yeah, which I would consider adventure. I think it's just such a it is a muddy category. I don't think you can really define it that well.
Yeah, no. we were campaigning early on in the year for a best horror category to be added to the Game Awards this year. It didn't happen. Would have been the year for it, though, I think. Given the really strong contenders.
I mean, even if you wanted to go
games,
like horror / thriller, just to be able to, like, just in case there's a year where there are not many nominees for horror.
But there's always horror games.
Yeah, there is.
Even like in the indie sphere, there's great horror games as well. And there definitely would have been 5. Like, if you think about it as well, like, I'm sure there's others that I can't think of, but to take a 5 off the top of my head that would have been compatible for this year, right? Not that all of them, there'd be the obvious 3 winner types, right?
Yep.
But if you to make up 5, you got Alan Wake 2, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space Remake, Dredge, and the Callisto Protocol, because that was too late for last year's. There's 5
I suppose,
right there. You know what I mean?
You can even put in Resident Evil 8 VR
mode, yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, of course. Which, actually, on that, Resident Evil 4 VR is out now, which is free for anyone who has Resident Evil 4, but you have to have the PSVR 2. So, but the VR mode is now out. Maybe.
Have you cleared the original yet, Adam, before you jump into...
Oh, the original, yeah. I've cleared the original many times.
The remake.
No, I have
the
not.
non-VR. Yeah, okay. I just thought maybe do that before going into VR mode.
No, fuck that. Just goes straight into VR.
Yeah, he just wants to play the village section. He doesn't want to finish the game. He doesn't care about that.
Yeah. Just give me the demo again.
Any categories, any other categories that are missing from the Game Awards that you feel should be there really in the future?
Missing, no. I think they've got pretty much every other, because they have strategy, they have sim, they have mobile, they have AR, VR. Yeah, I think horror is really the only major omission, because they have sports as well, don't they? So everything is taken care of. I suppose you could. I know you mentioned first person shooter before, but I just think
they had that before. That's the thing.
Oh, they did have it before. I think that's a strange category. Shooter, I think, is a category in itself.
we were saying just before we actually came on recorded, it's weird that there's no like best gameplay. When there's like best narrative, best sound design, like these are elements of games that make a game. It's weird that there's no like best gameplay in a year. Where that's one where it's like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom could maybe be a strong contender there. You know what I mean? Or Spider-Man 2, or but it is weird that there's no category that's like the best gameplay of the year was this game. Or
like that really takes into account like the freedom of choice and maybe even pushes the boundaries of that, because there's so many games there where it might win like best narrative or some shit like that, but the gameplay sucks balls,
Right, or it's not as good as say another game, or 100%.
Maybe their problem with that is player preference.
But it's all getting voted by the elites in the industry anyway, who are gods and know all and tells us what's best.
Well, okay. That aside, it is all preference anyway.
Yeah.
You go to a game critic and you go, "What was your favorite game this year?" He's going to say the one that he preferred, in the year. So, like, I think people forget, like, they get very like, "Oh, the critics judge," blah, blah, blah. Like, it is biased. All awards are biased. You know what I mean? And that's okay, because you're asking someone, "What was your favorite?" Which is Eric's favorite question. So like you go to journalists, you go, well, what was your favorite game this year? And vast majority of them were Baldur's Gate 3, and that's why it won.
And I think the best game of the year generally, obviously it's like take into account a lot of things, but I think in previous years when you had the From Software stuff winning a lot of categories, and I'm like, ugh, they would absolutely wipe the best gameplay categories 100%, because I mean that's why they're winning.
That is why they're winning.
It is in the gameplay department. Like the mechanics that they have is just, it makes such a connection with the player, whereas all these other categories they're winning, I'm like, I always feel like there's a real kind of disconnect. I'm like, I'm not seeing how that is a better story than that game over there. But if it was, I do think that is a category that's just kind of lumped into every other area. But it's just so odd in the area of gaming that the act of gaming is not a category.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Was there anything else from the awards aspect, or just from the show aspect? So outside of the game announcements, from the show aspect that you guys wanted to talk about before we jump into the announcements?
No, they didn't have the big world premiere.
Yeah, they said they were going to do away with that. They said
because that's
people don't
yeah.
like it, so so they did away with that. But he said it every time anyway.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I like Jeff a lot.
Right.
And I respect. This isn't leading to something. This is just I like Jeff.
Oh, okay.
I just respect that Jeff as like as an independent person who's not like working for a company or anything has achieved this.
Yeah.
I think it's very impressive, and he so clearly loves video games. If you ever watch a Q&A with him or just an interview with him or anything, the way he talks and references back to games he used to play and things like that, and I've listened to him enough now that I know exactly, as he's talking, I know what he's about to announce before he gets there quite a lot of the time. Whenever he says one of gaming industry's most, you're just like, okay, so Hideo Kojima is about to come out. And when he says one of gaming's most beloved composers, before he even gets there, I'm like, okay, he's talking about Nobuo Uematsu. Because that's how someone who's actually into gaming talks about these people. Because they know the legends, you know what I mean? And I just think it's fucking cool that there's someone who isn't just... Now, look, and obviously, yes, there's a huge marketing aspect to the Game Awards, because you have to pay for a show like that. Like, that show is unbelievable. The lighting and everything on the stage and the production level is crazy. So a lot of people would be like, oh, there's too much marketing. You have to do that in order to get the show, really.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I think he's just done an incredible job. And this was the 10th Game Awards show.
9th.
10th.
I was not.
How could it be the 10th if it started in 2014 and we're in 2023?
It started in 2013.
He said 2014. he did say this is the 10th year. Then he said it started in 2014. Then by the end of it, he went, and we'll come back next year to this location.
Oh, I got it. No, you're right. 2014. Yeah, this is the 10th show. Next year is the 10th anniversary.
Bro, what?
Do the math. Right. Are you all fucking ready for maths? Right. 2014.
Get Matthew McConaughey in here.
2016, 2017, 2018.
I was just playing D&D last night.
2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Bullshit. You
That's
have extra
10.
fingers.
And then the next year, 2024, would be the 10th anniversary of because we're back to number, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the 10th anniversary, so.
That was riveting. Thanks.
Aside
No
from
problem at all.
plans, there is a category I would drop from the show.
Okay.
Oh.
And that is the best adaptation.
Interesting. It was only added last year for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think this is the right show for it. Because if you're gonna be going into that space, and we're starting to see that a little bit with this show too. I think that was one of the major criticisms, was the amount of star power on stage that seemed to overshadow the devs in a major way.
Right. Yeah.
This will only get worse because it's so obvious that the video game adaptation, we're starting to get into it. It's like early days of Marvel at this point. This will be the next thing of adapting video games.
Yeah.
And this could take over. This could completely overshadow a lot of the other categories in years to come. I would drop it now because I think the place for that is actually in the places like the Oscars and things like that. It's acting, it's filming. I don't think they have best adaptation in their show. For like movies adapted from books or comic books or whatever. Like,
I hear you. Yeah.
I just don't think this is the place for it. This is about video games.
True, but do you think that maybe he wants to include it because the Oscars wouldn't take it seriously?
I mean, maybe, but I just don't think it's that. It's not even the same product. It's like, so what? Like, these aren't games. They're taken from games, sure, but they're not games. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
If they were going to go best adaptation, then I think it's like maybe games adapted from another medium. Maybe it should be the other way around.
I hear everything you're saying. I don't hate it, but I actually do think there's some of the categories where he just reads them out. No one gets to come on stage. I would have thrown best adaptation in there.
Yeah, and given them some of the limelight.
Because I don't know why best adaptation would get like the stage presence, where like say best indie game or best, just lots of other categories that didn't get that. It's like, let's acknowledge that yes, this is based on a video game, so that's cool. It gets the award, great. But maybe it doesn't need like a bigger spotlight than say some of the other categories. But
yeah, I thought actually this was a problem with the Game Awards. So I watched it the next day because I think for us in Ireland, the show was on at like 12:30.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking that it's 12:30 midnight, just for clarification on that part. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well I'll watch it tomorrow morning. I'll watch it for us. Then it'd be Friday morning, and that'd be grand. I'll watch that in the morning, and then I had the day booked off anyway, so then I'll go off and do things. This show was so fucking long; it actually took up pretty much my entire day. So by the time it came around, I was like, "Well, now I actually can't go out and do anything because the sun is setting because it's that long." And that's because you had all these people come on talking, and then you had just I love announcements, but there was more announcements than there was Game Award.
Yeah, and that's always the way at the Game Awards.
Well, that's a problem. Yeah. This now explain that I figured it out when I was watching this. I was like, now I know why I hate so many fucking announcements. Because even when I come to the Game Awards, it's chock-a-block with announcements, and I'm bored as shit. I was like, my God, this is so long. Like, and then actually watching on YouTube where you had ads every 10 minutes. That was making it longer again, but.
So that actually happened during the live stream, so that was useful.
Yeah, I didn't feel the length of it. There were aspects of it where I was just disconnecting a little bit. But that's just my own personal interest. Like, for others, it'll be like, this is the best thing ever. So I don't mind that.
100%.
But I actually did feel the pacing of this didn't feel as long as previous years. I thought it...
Well, speaking of the best thing ever, one of the aspects of the show that I want to talk about just before we get on to the actual announcements was they did a musical performance from Alan Wake 2, the Old Gods of Asgard, played on stage. Fuck yeah! I fucking loved it.
Okay, I could have gotten rid of that now, to be fair.
Absolutely not. And
Okay.
obviously, yes, if you haven't played Alan Wake 2, that is lost on you. But if you have played Alan Wake 2, that is the hype moment.
Myself and Pagan were
That was
watching it, like,
so good.
And
Does that not make Pagan want to play that game?
no, Pagan was a bit like, I believe we're missing some context here.
100%.
Yeah, and
100% you're missing context.
but I think there is a huge assumption
That everyone
with
watching
gaming
or-
in general, and gaming culture, that you know what's going on. And it's like, well, actually, no, I haven't a fucking clue, because it's like we've busy lives, and most people are only playing Baldur's Gate 3 this year. So, no, I have no idea what's going on. And there's so many platforms too, right? And there's a big assumption as well that everyone has all these platforms that can play all these games. It's a bit of an elitism kind of growing within the gaming world.
I think it's okay if people haven't played it and don't know what that was about, right? For me, it was like, it's a missed opportunity to not do that. And for anyone who doesn't know what it is, maybe they'll go, what the fuck was that about? And look it up. There is a full music video of the Herald of Darkness by the Old Gods of Asgard on YouTube. You watch that, you'll see that the entire dance routine is in the music video.
Right.
And they just did it live. That's all it was. If you play the game, you get to experience it happening in the game, and it's even more impressive. But like, if nothing else, it might pique curiosity for some people, not everyone, but for some people to go, what was that about? I better look it up. I thought Alan Wake 2 was a scary game. Why are they singing at me? Bah, 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 bah. You know, and I suppose for them that was the purpose, because they ended with Alan Wake 2 on the screen. So it was like, look, if you haven't played it yet, go check it out, because maybe it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, I just don't think if I was trying to sell Final Fantasy VII Remake, I would do the Honeybee Inn sequence as an opportunity to sell it.
No, fair, but you might do a huge bit on the Golden Saucer.
I don't know if I would to sell the
That's
sell it.
what they did.
I know. It's like, it's not. I don't know if that's what I would use to sell the product. I felt it was a bit strange, and I was kind of, okay, can we move along now, please?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I was actually okay with the musical numbers. It was actually just the constant kind of the constant announcements. There was genuinely at points in the show where I was like, Are we announcing game awards yet? Like, because it feels like there's been about an hour that's gone by, and you've announced one category. So I didn't mind the musical numbers, just because they do that every year anyway. I mean, was it last year or the year before they had Sting on doing his song?
The year before
from
that,
Arcade?
Sting, and last year that Hosier doing the God of War Ragnarok song.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, that's just the song band that they get from a prominent piece of entertainment that a lot of people were talking about that year, and that's fair enough. They do it every year, but it was just, for me, as much as some of those announcements were awesome, there was fucking so many to me.
Well, speaking of awesome announcements, we're going to move on to those now. And as Eric said, there were so many, so we are not going to talk about all of them. And there's a good chance that we won't talk about one or two that maybe you, who are listening, were really into. So you can let us know again if there's one that we missed and why you're hyped for that one. We'll only talk about the ones that we're hyped for. We might not all three be hyped for the same ones, so I'm going to shout out some. We'll talk about them. We'll move along. And then if there's any that I missed that the guys want to talk about, I'll ask us, obviously, and we'll try and get to all the ones we want to talk about. The first one I want to start with is God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Because it's out this week. It's free. I was very impressed by that. And the thing that impressed me the most, well, like, it's free, so to me it doesn't matter if I love the content or not, because I'll just give it a go and try it. Graphically, it looks great. They used the music from the old God of War games, which is all I was asking for in Ragnarok. fuck yes. So I hope to God that music is actually in it. I will definitely jump in and play this. I'm excited for this. What did you guys think of Valhalla?
Yeah, like I thought it was interesting when I figured out what it was, which is that roguelite idea that when you die you go back. I was like, okay, sure. But it was when the original OG music kicked in, and I saw the Cyclops coming on screen, and I was like, oh shit, we're going to be traveling down some memory lane now with this thing. And the fact, yeah, that it's free. It's like, fucking bring it on. Why not get back in that world and fuck some shit up?
Yep. Adam, what'd you think?
I don't think I'll be checking this out for that reason of it being the Souls like thing or roguelike, as they said.
Yeah.
It's really not my thing, and although it's like packaged like God of War, it's just not what I would play God of War for. So I don't think I'll be checking it out.
Oh yeah, the game mode wouldn't be my style. Because it's free. I'm gonna jump in. I can't see myself. If it's very punishing, I can't see myself like playing it to completion. But I could see myself giving it a go. And hopefully there's a bit of story content there.
I'm
too.
sure there probably is.
That might make me go, no, fuck it, I'm playing through this. I want to know where this goes, or that might tide me along, to be honest. So, and plus, I love the Norse vibes from that. But I got also some really cool Nordic vibes from Hellblade 2, which featured a fucking amazing performance from Heilung. There might be some people in the audience or in the world who are like, what is this? This isn't my kind of music. This isn't my kind of thing. Fuck you. That was fucking incredible. I immediately started looking up, is that song available yet? It's not. It's featured in Hellblade 2. I was blown away by that song, the stage presentation, the performance, and then they showed the trailer. The game looks amazing. I am stoked for it. I am fucking raging, though, that they still don't have a release date.
Yeah, strange.
Like, I'm like, has this game gone through development hell? Like, I feel like it has, like, because it's been announced since...
Yeah, there must have been technical issues. I can't imagine, just based on what we're seeing so far, this is definitely my most anticipated from the show. Like, that was my most excited moment. I think the setup to it, and the trailer itself, and obviously after playing the first one, I kind of know what to expect from it. But based on that, the trailer, what we've seen here, I'm not seeing like a major shift forward from the first one on a gameplay front, on the technical level that way. So it must be something within the game engine. I'm wondering, did they have to switch game engine halfway through development or something like that? I just think there's something there that's like pushed this further than ever needed to have been. So that has me a little bit concerned, but I think the way they announced it, that's probably the best they've ever announced an Xbox game, I think.
100%. That's absolutely sick.
My biggest gripe with this game.
What's that? Go on.
The Xbox.
Yeah, you can't play it.
I want to play the game. I want to play those games.
Yeah,
have you played the first one?
No.
That might come up again for you, Eric.
You should check it out. It could be on sale on the PSN, because that one is on PlayStation.
I think I looked it up and I couldn't see it.
Okay, check it again. It might be there,
Oh,
but it's worth if you do play it with headphones.
Okay,
that would be my recommendation.
Is it set during Fimbulwinter? What's the story like?
All right, okay. So on a level of like connecting in with the Norse stuff, it seems as though I think it's like they're more Saxon, so it's England, I think, with some Nordic influence because of the invasions and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think they obviously have all those legends and so on, but because the game is actually about mental illness, it's how she's perceiving the world around her, and the only way she can make sense of it is from all the myths and legends.
So sick. And like,
that's badass.
Just the imagery in the trailer, though. Like, I was more blown away. Like, I don't think that Hellblade 2 next year is gonna have the best gameplay, right? Like,
no, it's quite weak.
If there was a best gameplay category, it wouldn't win it, you know?
Yeah.
But the imagery,
I think the
art
sound design. I think the sound design is going to be
that's so
killer.
fucking cool.
Because it sounds like they're taking the. So this was the first one, at least, was taking the 3D audio to next level, really. And it's kind of actually a pity now it's not going to be on PlayStation because of the way they've built 3D audio directly into the system. But I'm sure Xbox has worked very hard with them to bring that tech to the Xbox anyway. I think they have pushed that even further again. I think on the audio level, I think this game is going to be... This will probably win Best Audio next year.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I hope we get a release date soon. That to me was the one worry, because I was like, this game has been kind of unveiled at every Game Awards. I can remember.
Well, it was there for the announcement of the Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just like, the fact that we're coming into this year and they still don't know when it's going to release. Even if they had said, like, not a date, even if they had said, say, summer 2024, or just some sort of window beyond just a whole year, just has me worried. And I think that means to me, like, they don't see it as like soon. I think it'll be like towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Because
it's like, that's such a broad window. Like, I think
it'll be
like
pity. Like,
October or something.
I need some summer games, man.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Well, you'll just have to do your second playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which also had a song and trailer. One thing that I would say, though, is I preferred the way Hellblade 2, and this is me here, guys, Final Fantasy fucking 7. I preferred the way Hellblade 2 was presented. They did the song first, and then the trailer. I didn't necessarily enjoy trying to watch the trailer while there's the live song on, because I thought that, and I could imagine if you were sitting there like in the live audience, it'd be really kind of conflicting, because you'd be like, I want to pay attention to this amazing singer on stage, but also move out of the fucking way. I'm trying to see Sid Highwind behind you, you know?
Yeah, I deflated very quickly, because like they were like, obviously the build up to the composer and everything, you're like, oh shit, here we go, okay. And I was really looking forward to that performance, but I just didn't really connect with I think it's probably because I haven't experienced this in context with the game. There's obviously a connection here, and I have no connection with it. It's not my type of music either, that type of song. So I was like, this is...
It's a love ballad, right?
Really not your best work, son.
Right. Well, but then lots of other people online are saying they're putting it right up there with, because he's done love ballads. He never had a love ballad for Final Fantasy VII, but he had one for 8, 9, 6, and 10. So there's a lot of people saying
them out, but yeah,
I know, because I kind of forgot which ones he'd done. So there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is awesome that it's going to join the ranks of his great love ballads for Final Fantasy, that he never had one for 7." I do feel that I need to hear it in context of the game.
Yeah, I just think as a way of demonstrating, advertising the next game, like I think it was just a weird choice. I think, and
I think there's the trailer is also online,
and it's a bit longer.
It's a bit longer.
The trailer online. Yeah,
I watched it, and I was a bit like, spoilers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you
I won't watch it.
Don't watch it, and we won't talk about
we won't talk about the full
extra stuff.
Yeah. But the performance is good. I'm going to assume from the trailer, like that they showed at the Game Awards, Aerith sings the song at some point. So it was
her in the music video. Yeah, it must be. That's in the. That's what I meant by they're showing off the gold saucer. Like they even had like all the guys in the costumes for the stage play. It's like that. When I think of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the stage play is not how I would excite players, you know. But that's what they did. Yeah. So
I am looking forward to
they were showing everything else. So
I was more excited when I saw, like, you only get a very quick glimpse, but you see Dyne.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that. I can't wait for that. Like that kind of shit. It fucking excites the hell out of me. Sid. I hope Sid is an asshole in the game. You don't really see much of that from the trailer, so it's
like
hard
you
to know,
hate him and then grow to love him, kind of thing.
Absolutely, sit down and drink your goddamn tea. I hope he says it. And then what? Do you know what? I just want to... Like, the song is so clearly... Like, if you listen to Hollow from Remake, that's so clearly Cloud. Those lyrics it's supposed to be Cloud's perspective.
Right.
You listen to this song, it's Aerith. And just, like, I think one of the lyrics is, like, never let me go and stuff like that. So, like... It's clearly this song is about Aerith, and when you listen to the live performance towards the end, they started playing piano notes from Aerith's theme. They ended the trailer with her in the praying pose. They know we all know what's coming. They know that this is one of the most iconic sequences in gaming ever, and I think it's incredible in a remake of this game that they have planted enough doubt that people are unsure if that's going to happen. That's kind of incredible. That people are not 100%. I'm not even 100% certain. Like, all the evidence is there that it will happen, but I'm not 100% certain they're going to do it.
Look, people were pretty mad at the end of Remake. I think people will be fucking... Like, there will be riots if this doesn't go the way it should. I think. Unless they do something, like... mind-blowing, but I just think I don't think you can pull it off, really, to be honest. I think there's going to be so many people really fucked off if this doesn't go as anticipated.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I guarantee there'll be something different in that scene.
Yeah.
It's not going to go exactly how we thought it was.
Exactly, but...
Even if that means Eric dies, something else is going to happen too. The only thing is they have to be careful that they don't overshadow Eric's death. Sorry, spoilers for the original Final
I was just about to say, I was like, didn't we just say no spoilers?
No, but like...
And you just went ahead and it's like, isn't that the actual spoiler?
Fucking watch a YouTube video. What we're saying is we don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Don't try it. Just put the shovel down, Chris, and just get in the hole.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
sorry.
I have a theory from watching that trailer. I have a theory, and
nice.
I will not say it because again, it might also be spoiler. But yeah, I just have a theory.
That's
okay.
But
I'm glad you're not going to share.
No, I'll share with you, but not with anyone else because it might.
Sure.
Well, actually, I don't know if we can spoil it now, considering Chris decided the fucking spoilers.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Sorry.
So sorry.
We never actually, on theories and predictions and things like that, we never actually said, and I should have said at the beginning, myself and Eric had a tally of predictions for what would win in certain award categories and also what might show up. And Eric won. I have to buy the pizza. Eric won. He got the most predictions right between the two of us, but there was a lot of surprises. I was shocked, and I should have played the safer bet. So if you listen to the episode where we were doing our predictions for the what will be shown, we were only allowed to pick one thing each, and I had basically 3 possibilities for each category. Right? One of my definites was that we'd see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But I didn't go with it because I was like, because that's too obvious. I know we're going to see it because the game comes out 2 months later. I was like, so the other one is Death Stranding 2. We're 100% going to see Death Stranding fucking 2. And I lost the fucking bet because Mr. Hideo Kojima came out to talk about his other game. I was like, oh, come on. But what did you guys think? And actually, on that note, I don't know if you guys saw it. It's a very cool little short. Kind of crazy. On Kind of Funny Games Cast, they were doing their predictions of what will show up. Greg Miller predicted that Kojima would show up to talk about his horror game for Xbox with Jordan Peele. And they were all like, whoa, that's a crazy prediction, man. Like, and they have a rule that if you have insider information, you're not allowed to bring it in. You can't use that.
Right.
And when they do the little short of the edit where the guys realize that Jordan Peele is about to come out and they're like, what the fuck? How the fuck did Greg know? Like, it's a cool the way it's edited. The camera then pans to Greg Miller, who's smiling in the audience, and it's like, you motherfucker, you knew. You had to have known. Mm-hmm. That's too fucking accurate. But what did you guys think of OD?
There's just nothing yet. The tech looks good, I guess, but it's hard to know yet because the loading screen to MGS4 looked amazing as well. So that's just really tech demo stuff.
Yeah,
I guess I'm excited to see, just based on what he did with PT and things like that, what he's going, and obviously he's collaborating yet again with a film director who's well versed in that area. Excited to see what it's going to be. It's just a bit strange, I think, the way it's announced. I guess I don't know. It was a little weird, but hype's there.
Yeah, Eric, what did you think?
I actually thought originally it was like essentially here's an announcement of more actors to Death Stranding 2 because
At first
that's what I thought, and I was like, oh cool, Sophia Lillis and then Hunter Schafer, and then you had Udo Kier, and I was like, oh cool, yeah, and then he came out, and I was like I was also a bit like, this is very weird, like because they're saying some weird poem thing that I don't know what it is, and they're saying it different ways. Then you had the door creaking and Sophia screaming, and I was like, yeah, this still could be Death Stranding, because I remember all the trailers to the original Death Stranding, they were confusing as
yeah, and none of them seemed linked, and none of it made sense. Yeah,
no, until you play the game and you're like, this
still
is
not
all linked.
making sense.
right.
But then yeah, it turned out it was a new game, and
OD.
yeah, OD. I need to see more for it.
Could be another reason you got to get an Xbox.
Could be another reason to get an Xbox.
I do like
sure.
that. I think that's cool. I like that they managed to strike a deal there. And there's always been rumors that they were talking anyway, and
well, this was already announced.
Yeah, technically it was. Yeah,
we had seen nothing of it. It was called OD, Overdose. Phil Spencer unveiled it at an Xbox showcase maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We are working with Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
And they just announced the title, and that was it. They never said anything else on it. So
yeah, and there was a lot of posts of Kojima with Jordan Peele and things like that. So it's
so I can kind of see how maybe Greg Miller put the little dots
together.
But at the same time, it's like that's fucking wild that you got it that bang on. I liked the little nods to different Kojima works. For example, the door is the door from PT. If you get a screenshot of the door from PT, it has the exact same light above the door and everything. And also the poem thing that they're reading out. I'm pretty sure that's a bit of dialogue that the Colonel says in MGS2 when you're running around in Arsenal gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, that sounds familiar to me. And I was like, is that fucking, you're talking about something about the crab and the whale, and I'm like, is that from like the gibbering crab or whatever the fuck they say? It's like, is that what the Colonel says in MGS2? Something about the purple crab. I don't know. I think it is.
It sounded all like gibberish to me, but yeah, I mean, I'd be interested because from the fact that he made PT all those many years ago, mythic times when there was promises of a good game to come in that year. It never happened. But the fact that now he's finally gotten to now make his horror game, and he's working with Jordan Peele, who has proven himself as an excellent horror director as well. So yeah, I think pretty exciting stuff. It's going to be mind-boggling as hell.
Yeah, whatever
and
it is.
He's going to hit us with some stuff. We're going to be like,
but they did say that it's like this is like a new medium. It's not necessarily a game. It's not quite a movie either. So
yes, it's hard to know what it'll be, really.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what it will be.
Yeah,
but a part of me wishes that he managed to create that really interesting online collaborative puzzle game that what PT was. You know, I think that was such a phenomenal experience. To be part of that was just incredible. It's kind of sad that's never ever going to come to light, but he has proven himself to really push the medium, and I'm looking forward to what this will be. But it might be so experimental that it'll kind of fail or not hit the mark, or people may not connect with it as intended.
I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but I'm really excited to see what it becomes. Do you know? Have you guys ever watched any Jordan Peele's movies?
No, I've watched Get Out. That's actually the only one I have seen. I probably should see the others.
Fucking excellent. Get Out is really actually amazing. And I've seen Us as well, which he used the music from for his entrance. It's great. The fact that they remixed a hip hop tune into a horror track, and it does feature in that movie Us in a great sequence that is incredibly like weird and disturbing. And but I haven't seen his newest one, which was called Nope. I'd like to see that one. But he's very good. And I like as well that Kojima came out to Nine Inch Nails. Like, of course he did, came back haunted. Love it. So from a presentation side, I loved it. Curious to see what it is. Raging, I got the prediction wrong. I was so sure. And even when he was talking about Kojima, I was like, here we go. Death Stranding 2. Here we go. It's obvious. I was like, Timothée Chalamet is probably going to be fucking in it. And I know he's going to be showing up at the Game Awards because he was in a picture with Kojima recently. Mm-hmm. I still think he's in Death Stranding 2.
Yeah. He must be, yeah. Or he's involved in it. He could be involved in this because he did say there's multiple actors that he can't reveal just yet.
Oh, maybe. Do you know what? Before he gets too old, someone needs to fucking greenlight a movie trilogy of the Final Fantasy VII. He'd be a great Cloud. I think he would be perfect. I don't know why you're doing that slow blink thing that you do when you're like, are you serious about that? Have you seen him in movies? He's a very good actor. He absolutely looks the part. He's the right age.
Yeah, no, he would be good, I guess. He'd
be nicer than Tom Holland.
For sure. Yeah. No, he's a great actor. I can't unsee, like, I know he's a lot older than he looks.
That's the thing. Yeah. He's got quite a young look to him, but he is older.
I watched The King the other well, it's actually a few weeks back now, but watching it, I'm just like, he just looks like a boy. Like, it's really, it's really strange. But he's a good actor.
I really like that movie. It's a very good movie.
The King. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I didn't really work
gel with it.
No,
gel with it. Well, did you gel with?
It's based on a Shakespeare play, the Shakespeare Henry play. I think.
Was
an
it?
Adaptation of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you gel with another game that's probably going to be an Xbox exclusive? I know Adam probably didn't actually because unless he sees gameplay, not interested. It was just an announcement and it's probably years away. Don't know what form it'll take. But I was very surprised by it because as it was going, I was trying to guess what it was, and I only when a bit of blood was on the neck and he says, "I don't bite." That's when I went, "Is this Blade?" And then of course he put on Jack, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's Blade!" What I think is kind of cool is that Marvel are giving their games to different studios
for now,
and letting for now. And I do think that we're in that stage of early Marvel where, do you remember when, they just let different people do their take on properties? I'm sure at some point there'll be a Marvel Games where they do everything in-house and then we'll lose interest. But for now, it's lovely that we have Insomniac doing Spider-Man and Wolverine. We've got Square Enix doing things like Avengers and Guardians. Now we've got Bethesda and Arcane doing Blade. Mm-hmm. I thought the art style was kind of cool. It was kind of like a comic book kind of thing. And I'm curious. I assume it'll be an Xbox exclusive.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, another reason to get an Xbox if that game looks good.
We know nothing from this except that it was just them announcing it. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But would the prospects of a Blade game excite you guys, or?
Well, I mean, he's one of the OG superheroes that we grew up with. You know what I mean? It was Batman, Blade, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. Like they were them. And I think Blade was something that he was a character that interests us as one of the most out of them. Not the most, but he definitely interests us a lot. So I would be interested to see the gameplay for this game and see more of what it is. Because if it ends, because they say it's third person, but if it ends up looking like Suicide Squad, where he's doing flips and jumps and there's all sparkles and colors and shit, I then no. But if it's gritty and dark and somewhat harrowing, which I know Adam is looking at it and he's going, nope, it's not going to be that at all.
Well, think about
it's probably going to have that Deathloop style thing.
It's exactly going to be that. It's going to be a Deathloop, Dishonored, Redfall. It's going to be that, because why would you pick the studio? Why would you?
But in third person.
Did they say it's third person?
Yeah,
it's a third person action adventure game.
Open world across France. across Paris.
Either way, I think they still the reason you choose a studio is based on the technology they have currently, their game engine that they have. So yeah, it's hard for me to get excited just because I don't like any of the games that studio's done.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think I'll be curious to see more of it. I'd like to see what the gameplay ends up looking like. I think the art style will be cool. I just think the art style is gonna be cool. I think that I think they'll do, like, if it is gonna have that comic booky look, and like I think like blood sprays will be cool. I think that disintegrations will look cool, and I do think they're gonna go for that kind of thing. But whether the gameplay will match up to the style of it, like, I don't know. Like, this could be one of, and I don't really like this phrase, but it could be one where it's like, it's all style and no substance or something like that, you know?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
It's cool for an hour, you know?
I mean, Deathloop is like, I mean, that was obviously a well-received game on the gameplay level. I just didn't connect with it. So,
I tried playing that and it got old fast because it was just that element of, I just kill that guy and I have to kill him again. For fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like, because if the day ends, you do it all again and everyone comes back.
Right.
I have to try to do it all within one day, but every time you try to travel to another area, it's like, oh, that takes 6 hours. Like, so how do I kill them all in one day? If it takes me if it takes me a quarter of a day or something just to fucking get to the next area.
Isn't that the puzzle though? That's the point of the game.
I mean, yeah, that is the point of the game. But even just from I suppose the aesthetics and the way they present it, the humor, that kind of thing, I don't really connect with their presentation, I think, in their games. And that would be the aspect where it's like, I think Blade could be good for a lot of people. I don't think it's going to be the Blade that I connected with.
Yeah, well, I'd be curious to see, because I suppose, yes, we can always go look at what they've done before, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes a studio comes in and does something totally new, like when Guerrilla did Horizon after Killzone, or like Tango Gameworks doing Hi-Fi Rush after The Evil Within, where it's like, that's not even recognizable as the same studio.
No,
but it's so creative. And maybe they will spread their wings and do something different. We'll have to wait and see. The prospect of a Blade game excites me, but
I really liked, actually,
I want to see more.
At the start of the trailer, the countdown to nighttime, and everyone had to try, like, everyone was then run to their homes to batter in the door, like.
Oh yeah, like it's about to
board up the doors and windows. Yeah. I liked that concept. That seems very cool.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see what it is, and it's also cool to see a character like Blade get a bit of love. You know, he's not the most recognizable.
I imagine that was supposed to coincide with the release of the movie.
Probably. It might still, because that movie is getting, hella delayed and in development hell, and probably won't be good. Despite, and like, even at a point, I think they're getting close to losing Mahershala Ali.
I thought he's gone.
Sorry, I butchered his name. Is he gone? Because he is actually a great pick for Blade. Yeah, and as soon as they said him, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this.
Bang on.
And if he
they changed director as well, I think.
Yeah, I think he lost faith in the project, didn't he? Like, probably this is not what I signed on for, and anyway, yeah, I don't have a lot of high hopes for a Blade movie nowadays, but excited for a Blade game. There was another game that was revealed based on an IP that's 30 years old this year, and as I was watching it, obviously most of it was just a CG trailer, so it's mainly just an announcement, but there was a little bit of gameplay at the end, and as I was watching it, I was like, is this going to be like Alien Isolation, but on Isla Nublar? Is this Alien Isolation Jurassic Park? And it is. And I just had that moment of going, again, don't know what this game is really going to be like, but these guys got the fucking the assignment. They got the assignment. The fucking, a Jurassic Park shouldn't be a fucking park simulator or a fucking, like, there's been loads of Jurassic Park games. None of them have been like survive from the dinosaurs. I'm excited for this game immediately from just the premise of Alien Isolation on that island, Jurassic Park. It ties in at the movie without just being like a play as Alan Grant, but do shit that Alan Grant never did. You know what I mean? It's you're someone else who was working on the island who got left behind, and it's in first person, and you got to run and survive from velociraptors who are stalking you. That sounds great to me.
Pretty cool.
Were you guys in any way hyped for a Jurassic Park survival?
I would love that. I just don't think this doesn't look well.
But that is what it is, right?
I could.
That's what it seems like.
It seems like it. Yeah, there's something about it that's still a little bit almost cartoony, a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know.
Those aren't the graphics, though, are they?
We don't know.
Well, they showed the gameplay at the end of the trailer. It didn't look like the rest of the trailer.
Today?
Yeah. Gameplay footage. She jumps on a raft. There's a velociraptor in front of her. You get to see some gameplay footage where you're like, because at first it's like, yeah, great if it's just a great premise, but like, and then you see a couple of shots at the end. It's like, oh, it actually is the premise. Like, oh, okay, because for a second this could have been a mobile game for all I knew. So, and the developers came out and said that they were inspired by Alien Isolation. So
nice. That's a good thing to be inspired by for a Jurassic Park setting.
Yeah, sick.
I think I'd be more excited if this was VR. I think
maybe it will be.
Yeah,
maybe it'll be VR as well. I wouldn't play it in VR. Are you kidding me?
I would love that just because of the scale of everything. You know, like I think what you have over Alien Isolation. You know, you're dealing with claustrophobia as part of the fear. Whereas with this, it's huge open spaces. It's the scale of the various different creatures in it, and tight spaces, open spaces, things like that. And I think you could really play with that really well with the 3D audio and VR. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if it's. I think maybe I'm not really seeing like what's new here. You know, like what separates this. Yeah, it has like the Jurassic Park skin, but I just want to see. I want to see more from it. I think. So hopefully there's newer footage.
A lot of the trailers at the showcase have been that. It's like this is a nice presentation, but we do need to see more before we're putting down our 70 or 80 quid down on it. Like,
oh, of course, yeah, and like, yeah, this could be a disaster, but I'm just saying, I think the premise is good. I think the premise of doing Alien Isolation on the original Jurassic Park island sounds like the perfect Jurassic Park game, and I don't really want anything new. I want it to be familiar. My problem with Jurassic Park games is they never look like Jurassic Park. Or I don't capture the tone of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but I just don't know if taking an existing kind of concept like that and just putting it on the island, I don't know how well that connects. Just because, like with Alien Isolation, you are dealing with a singular hunter.
And, I see what you mean now. Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah, okay.
Because then otherwise, it feels more like Jurassic Park 3 than it does the first Jurassic Park. Because Jurassic Park 3, you have the hunt is either the velociraptors are constantly hunting you, or it's the Spinosaurus is constantly hunting you. And that's not as scary as just the unpredictable, what are we going to come across?
So, okay. So I think the premise will only take it so far. I'm sure that Jurassic Park Survival will be a little bit more of a scripted experience than Alien Isolation. In that, for this section, more like playing, say, Resident Evil Village. For this section, you're being hunted by velociraptors. Good luck. For this section, it's I'm sure it won't be. Oh, everything is like running on AI or like that.
Because that would be just. That would be disaster.
That'd be fucking unplayable.
If anything, then it's probably closer to King Kong than it is.
Right. So I'm stoked to see more. I think it's a cool premise. There was a lot of predictions, Eric, that I got wrong. I'm still sour about that. I am going to buy that pizza with a frown. But one that I got right that I was happy about was we got the Black Myth Wukong release date.
That was good. That was tasty.
The trailer was great. I'm hyped for this game. And I already know that this is a game that's going to have a gameplay that I probably won't like. But I'm so in on the characters and the world. It's pure fantasy, man. It's pure fantasy. And that spider looked terrifying. What did you guys think of Black Myth Wukong?
I'm really, because I think this game, as among with so many other East Asian mythological games, are coming out, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all, even if like I might not like all of them, might not get all of them, might not play all of them, but they all look exciting. And I think it's because it's it is something fresh. It's something new. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about Chinese mythology, so this looks like a great game to introduce me to it. No different than God of War, like the God of War Norse mythology would have been great. Invitation for people into Norse mythology, or even the original God of War into Greek mythology. If you're wanting to get introduced into mythologies, Age of Mythology, just play that. But
Yeah, it's great.
so I'm really looking forward to this because I just love mythologies so much.
Yeah, it
How
looks
about you,
fucking
Adam?
Designs
amazing.
look class. The designs.
Yeah, almost looks like Del Toro got his hands in there a little bit, but like, I think what really separates this is that this is actually a Chinese studio. You know,
yes.
they know what they're fucking doing here. It's not some Western studio doing some sort of Western take on a Asian mythology. I can't wait for this. This is definitely what the industry was missing. I think is something like that. Like, we've never seen anything like that. Really,
This is one of my most anticipated games for next year. This is
for sure.
I can't wait.
I hope it's good.
We have. Yeah, I do too. I'm glad we have a release date now. But everything from the graphics to the performance to the character designs, like everything looks good.
The combat looks insane.
Yeah, and it looks like it has a really great story on top of that. Like great characters and a great journey. So fucking stoked for Black Myth Wukong. It was one of the highlights of the show for me. I think I've pointed out all of the things that grabbed my eye during the show. What I want to know now, and obviously there's lots of different games, lots of different styles. People are going to gravitate towards different things. Is there anything I missed that really stood out for you guys that you want to talk about?
No, my highlight would have been Hellblade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a moment.
I liked the look of the Final Fantasy 16 DLC.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And like, so one of them is out now.
Yeah.
And the other one is coming out early next year.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be fun to jump back in for sure.
Yeah. So they
rank up those hours.
Break up the hours. Yeah. Light No Fire, the studio that did No Man's Sky. I looking at it. No, it's not a game I'd play.
Right.
I hope it does. It has a better start than No Man's Sky, but just a fair play to them to keep going. And then
especially for such a small team.
Such a small team, and now they're working on this game, and it did look good. But then again, No Man's Sky looked good too, and you have many other.
Do you
games
think though that their presentation really high? I hear what he was saying, everything that he was saying, and yeah, kind of have to, based on his history, you kind of have to be careful with believing things he says.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm sure he's telling the truth here. I'm sure they've learned their lessons. But based on what they've shown, did the presentation meet what they were saying for use?
No, but I mean, if I'm honest, this is not a game that I would be interested in personally.
No,
I'd be impressed on a technical level, and I'm like, that's great that they're pushing the boundaries of the technology and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool for the industry, but as a gamer, it's not something I would gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care what he was going to show, which is terrible. But I'm just
no, but
being
even
honest.
just based on, like, because obviously what he's saying hasn't actually been done, right? So this Earth that you can walk across the whole planet, you know?
Yeah,
and
it's actual.
There's
like,
a mountain you get
digital Earth-sized. Yeah.
But it's just when you it's like that's like an impossible thing to even demo, really, because you're like.
Well, that answers that though. Like he couldn't have.
No, that's what I'm saying. It almost feels a bit like almost as though we've seen this type of game before. You know,
Right.
it's like
this game is going to need. Not every game needs one of these, right? But this game is going to need a presentation for itself at some point. A good 20-minute look at just this game, and
like
how it works.
how climbing this mountain is different than climbing High Rothrock. You know, like. What's the difference here, really? Like, it's like, because when he said, "Oh, when you can see the top of the mountain, you can actually climb to the top of the mountain," it's like, yeah, but I've experienced that before in a game. Like, I've seen the top of a mountain and I've climbed to the top of the mountain in a game before. I just feel I totally understand what he's saying. I just the demo is just like.
He seemed very nervous, right? He seemed very nervous.
Well, I mean, based on the history.
On the history, I'd imagine, he's very very nervous.
That's fair. Fair.
Also, There was one game that was announced, and when it was announced, Jeff Keighley then went, "I'm getting some Mass Effect vibes off this, right?" Which was the
Oh, yeah.
Exodus game that Matthew McConaughey's going to be in.
That was the very
And
first game of the show, actually.
it was very first game, yeah. I thought it was very weird that you have Matthew McConaughey to announce it, but you don't have Matthew McConaughey in the trailer.
Yeah, very strange.
Very strange. But I like the look of it because I'm a sucker for Mass Effect, and I was also thinking, ooh, this looks like Mass Effect. And the
Fair.
idea of the time dilation seems pretty cool. Like I like that sort of stuff. But then when Jeff Keighley, like you were saying, Chris, when Jeff Keighley talks and you say yourself that you can predict almost what he's going to announce,
Mm.
and he said that he's getting Mass Effect vibes, I thought we're gonna get a Mass Effect trailer because why would he say that if there's not going to be
Sure,
one?
right.
So I thought that one of my predictions was going to come through.
Yeah.
True. And then, nope, they didn't show a Mass Effect trailer.
No,
I was
no
like,
Mass Effect
"Ew."
trailer.
That was another trailer as well that just didn't really connect with what the dude was saying in terms of demoing it. When he was
Oh
talking
yeah, it
about
didn't really show the
time dilation, it just became like another here's aliens, shoot them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anything else then that stood out to you guys, or have we touched on everything?
That's the show.
That stood
That's
out
the
to
show.
us.
That's
That's
the
the
whole
show
shit.
for
That was
us. Obviously, and then a lot of people would have a lot of hype for Monster Hunter Wilds, which was what the game that ended the show. It's the sequel to Monster Hunter World. Obviously, that's a huge franchise, and people are very excited for that game. But we're not Monster Hunter players, so it wouldn't have spoke to us. So that's why we're not like, oh, the big hype level of the show or whatever. But I don't think personally there was any trailer at the Game Awards that could generate more hype than the GTA 6 trailer that was shown a couple of days before. That it's like, man, if Jeff could have finished the Game Awards with this, then maybe no one would have been talking about anything else, though. So maybe that's why it had its moment. It had its own day of breaking the internet, maybe, and then the rest of the games could have the Game Awards or whatever it is. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I was fucking blown away by the GTA 6 trailer. Genuinely, I was absolutely blown away by it. What did you guys think of the GTA 6 trailer?
It's a nice CGI trailer.
That is not CGI.
What?
That's in
That
game.
is
That's in game.
That's all in game, Eric. That's
Well,
why
now I'm blown away.
that is fucking. That is in game. That's not CGI, man. That's in game.
I thought it was a CGI trailer, and I was like, "That's a lovely CGI trailer with a really good premise to it." We got some predictions pretty damn fucking spot on with this game.
We did.
That's in game. Wow, holy cow!
Now go back and rewatch it, knowing that it's in game.
I know. I have images of that burned in my head.
The moment Lucia turns around, I'm just like, holy fuck! She looks unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway.
Lucia looks just like that.
That's how Lucia looks. Adam, you're not as hot on the GTA 6 trailer?
No, well, I just told you before coming on. I only watched it before coming on to this.
I know.
Yeah, I've seen a few clips, and I've seen it announced, people talking about it online and stuff. Wasn't in a
But
hurry
you weren't
to-
impressed by the trailer.
Well, I've already seen some clips, so
All right.
you know
You weren't-
there was people.
You weren't impressed by the clips, like you're like a sphinx here. I can't read you. Like, come on.
not necessarily. I was just it's as expected.
Sure.
It's as expected. I think what I like from it is that they're not holding back on the satire.
Yes.
I enjoyed seeing a lot of that.
Because that was a worry, right? That was a
It
worry
was.
that they were going to change that DNA.
Yeah. But it seems that they found the thing that would allow them to continue their satire of the US without it being too offensive, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I think the things that they're kind of pointing out are kind of, let's all agree, like, this is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It's more an attack on the individual rather than an attack on a culture, which previously they probably were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's an attack on I think there's some things, I wouldn't say attack, but there's certainly some things where they are satiring a culture, but the culture is it's
humanity itself rather than like
It's-
everyone can see themselves in it. It's not just the US.
it's definitely a culture. It's Western society culture for sure, and like anyone, like I think they had one point where they had like the Instagram model person or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, and it's like that can target anyone, like that's not a particular race or a particular gender.
Yeah,
That's
it's the internet
Instagrammers.
phenomenon, the
Yeah,
internet fame person.
so it looks
Yeah.
like they're going to be taking the piss at that, and then the people in the fucking, I don't know, the dirt bikes in the mud, and so it looks like we're going to have some real crazy ass characters in this game, which is what GTA
I
has.
think
Has colorful characters.
yeah, the clips are I think it is a good trailer, and it's kind of looks like the kind of highlights of a reel when you're advertising something, right?
Mm.
I'm just wondering how that all connects within the game.
Yeah.
Normally that shit you see, like you would hear on Radio X, right? It's like, here's a mad story on Radio X. But are we going to have to be like, is the phone now, because the phone is an aspect I hated in 5. And I'm wondering if the phone is going to become an even bigger thing in the game, that you're actually like viewing stuff. And
I think it'll be optional. I don't think you have to do it, but I think it will be something that you can do.
Yeah.
So I heard a really interesting theory, and I hope it's actually true, right? So this is a modern take on Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
right? And I love that idea with the two protagonists. I think it's fucking awesome. But Bonnie and Clyde, what I didn't know about Bonnie and Clyde, I ended up looking them up. They were like sensationalized by the press,
Oh yeah, they were famous.
and people were like rooting for them and supporting them and wanted to like read their and they kind of saw them as a sticking it to the man kind of thing when they were doing their robberies, right? So what I'm wondering is, in a modern day, what do? You stream that. You put that on like TikTok. Everyone is following these modern robbers on their phones and rooting for them. And then it becomes like a cult of personality, which is not unlike just how people get famous nowadays anyway. And I'm like, that premise for a modern day Bonnie and Clyde is perfect.
Yeah.
I think even the song, what I was really blown away by in the trailer, apart from just the graphics, is I found myself agreeing with every choice they're making. The vibe, the characters, what they're going for, where they decided to locate it actually, but having not only like the first female protagonist in GTA, which is interesting in and of itself, but that background of she's Latin American, which is like, this is a background that we haven't explored before in GTA as for a protagonist. Like, and the song was perfect. It had perfect vibes. It was a good song, but the lyrics of the song are also like telling of the story a little bit. I'm not like the biggest GTA guy. Like, I'm really not. I enjoy them like any gamer does. But this has quickly become one of my most anticipated games in the future. I am just blown away. Absolutely blown away by it. And I'm more excited for this than, say, if they were to do Red Dead 3.
Yeah.
This excites me more. But that's just two different camps, really.
I think the only reason I'd get excited for Red Dead 3 is if they went back to doing Red Dead Redemption.
Sure.
That style. Because the game just, the attitude changed, which was a big worry for me, whether they were going to do the same with GTA. But this being like,
I think they changed the
City,
attitude to kind of make them different, so that Red Dead Redemption was more serious and GTA.
Yeah.
I think so. They can flex different muscles.
Yeah.
In both, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was interrupting.
This looks like a really fun area to explore. It looks like there's like on every corner there's going to be a really wacky thing. It's going to be an absolute dream for streamers.
100%.
Yeah,
and
like,
like,
gonna love this.
they're gonna have a lot more wildlife in it by the looks of things, with like
I wonder then
and the alligators, and
I wonder if this is going to, because I just want to try and figure out like where the streaming aspect of it, the Twitch clips and all that kind of, or the TikTok clips that they have in it, how that's going to connect. I wonder if like there's going to be moments where actually you get to connect your Rockstar account to your actual social media and post the clips of weird things you come across. So instead of sharing it to, normally it's like you share it to PlayStation Moments or you share it to the Xbox app, and it's like instead you can share it directly to your TikTok. And it's like,
I would not be surprised.
Here's a fucking wacky thing I came across, and it's like really pushes the game. And if that's true, I think that's fucking genius if they manage to pull that off.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I think the other thing that if they could do this, I think it would be amazing, but it would be very difficult if they had some sort of partnership with Spotify or Apple Music or something like that, where you can sync your playlists. That
Well,
when
I'm
you
sure.
get in the car,
Yeah, I'm sure that will happen.
but like to work within game. So not that like
Yeah.
I don't mean that like you if you put on Spotify and then go into the game, it's still playing over. I mean when you get out of the car, your playlist stops, but when you get back into the car, your playlist continues. In
Yeah,
the very same way
I
as
don't
their
think
radio stations.
I don't think they
that
would
would be
need to.
amazing.
They wouldn't need to partner with Spotify or Apple Music. They would just need to ensure that they have direct connection to the actual app that's on your console.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And then they could have all those controls built into the context of the game. So I could see that absolutely being a thing. Yeah, definitely.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know
like
why
yeah, go on.
this concept is terrifying the shit out of me. This sounds like some weird fucking Skynet shit. Like if someone really wanted to do a Terminator game with this technology, done and dusted,
Yeah,
they
they
just
have,
take over your entire social media and boom.
That's it. Yeah, they have ChatGPT in there too, so it's just
Yeah.
writing the posts for you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I think as well. 2025, I think, is going to be a big year for games. Like, I think 2024 will have some good games, but it'll be a bit quieter. 2025 might be the next 2023, but maybe not as much, right? Because 2023 was also catching up on delays from COVID and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was nearly like 2 years of games in 1 year. But I do think that anyone who's releasing in 2025 will hold off on their date until they see GTA 6's release date. And I do not think they will want to release within that month.
Please release in the summer.
But I think it will, right? Because it's
It's
got
just
such
summer vibes, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it has
it's got, like-
come on, man.
And like, okay, I know they're saying Vice City, but it's not just Vice City. It's in the state of Leonida, as they're calling it.
Yeah, so it's more than
Which
that.
includes Vice City. But that means, like, are they also doing, like, their take on Orlando? Will we get to go to the theme parks?
Bruh.
I think we will, though. I think
Yeah,
we will,
probably.
because, like, that's something Rockstar would do.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I can't believe it. I really can't. So hyped for it. But guys, let us know what you thought of the GTA 6 trailer, and is there any features you hope are in that game? What are your hype levels like? Or maybe you didn't like it. I did see a lot of people get mad saying GTA's gone woke, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. You know, like, just like fuck off. You know what element of the trailer was woke? You know, get the fuck.
It's
out of here.
probably because there was a female protagonist. That was
Yeah,
about
get
it,
the
like.
fuck out. You know what? She looks so cool. I'm really interested in playing as that character.
I'm fucking glad they're going down that road.
Yeah, 100%.
So you anti.
That's silly. That's
Yeah,
silly.
the-
fucking weird.
They're just giving out for the fucking sake of it. It's like it's just a trend now on the internet. It's just to give out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like us. Like we'd ever give out about things.
Ever.
Not at all. But I think with that being said, that brings this week's episode to a close. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Do get in touch to let us know what were your highlights of the Game Awards. Anything you want to say about the awards aspect, but then also the announcements. Was there a game that you're most excited for? Is there anything that we missed? Please do let us know your hype levels for that. And also for GTA 6, what did you think of the trailer? Are you looking forward to the game? What do you hope to see in it? Please do let us know. If you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this discussion, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content. And to those of you listening on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twixter at The Brothers Take again to give your take on the Game Awards 2023 and GTA 6. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. I owe Eric a pizza. You guys owe us a subscribe or a follow. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.